All right, here we go. Y'all can hear it okay? Is this like a planet thing or blood or DNA or... Created by Linda Qualls and Tim
You're
Qualls.
listening to Radio August.
We're listening to
Dark
you. Are
Nights
you Radio August?
with Poe and Monroe.
Dark Nights
It's
with
5
Poe
o'clock
and
and I'm Alice
Monroe.
Monroe with your August update.
What
August
about
police
August?
are appealing for information
Somebody updated
following
something?
the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Ms. Shaw's body
Shaw
was
who?
discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act.
Despicable.
Anyone with
Like Despicable
information
Me?
about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline.
Yada,
It's
yada,
horrible,
yada. Let's
Poe.
get down to it. Maybe I had a little too
Indeed
much
it
caffeine,
is.
y'all. Dr. Pepper.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut.
I swear I didn't even say anything yet. What are you talking about? Oh, this is the movie talking to the other person. Who are
Exactly. Rewind.
you? Rewind. What? What? Did we just rewind it? What did we just do? It's putting us back to the credit because
You're
I clicked
listening
the button.
Radio August.
Oh my god.
Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update.
It won't let me skip back to it. It's
August
making me
police
watch
are
it
appealing
again.
for information following the
No!
murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Ms. Shaw's body was discovered last night.
We heard
Chief
this
DuPont
already.
is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
Okay, we are ready. Okay.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut.
Was that long enough?
Exactly. Rewind.
What did I just do? Is this the whole game over and over again? Just rewind. What did I miss? I pressed all the other buttons. It made me do it again.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights.
Was I supposed to
with
pay attention
Poe
and click on
Monroe.
something?
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old
I don't know what's
Dorota Shaw.
happening. Hang on.
Ms. Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
Okay. I think we got this. I'm supposed to click on something.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut.
Am I supposed to keep this?
You know why you're here, don't you?
Oh, okay. So I had to click the erase thing, the trash thing. No.
The dead girl.
Oh, the dead
And
girl.
this.
Oh, just her?
What exactly were you thinking?
I didn't
You have
do it.
one job. Don't get caught. Do you think you can do that this time?
Yes, I think I can do that this time.
Splendid. You're going to a town called August. Find Chief DuPont. He's gonna think you're someone else. This person. This is who you are now.
Okay,
Understood?
Who am I don't understand unless I look.
Splendid. If someone so much as sniffs that you're different, you'll be deprecated.
Deprecated?
Deprecated.
What does deprecated mean? Do we gotta Google that?
We expect you to use your ability. Just don't get caught.
Don't
And
get
never,
caught.
ever change into a child.
In brighter news,
Why don't we change into a
August
child?
resident Mia French is celebrating the return of her missing pooch.
Never,
Barley.
ever turn into a
The
child.
8-month-old basset
Something
hound
about a
puppy
pooch?
was found outside Daryl's Chicken and Ribs.
And that's 5 o'clock
sound okay?
with Poe and Monroe.
I'm Violet.
Hi,
Welcome to the
Violet.
guest house. There are some rules.
I don't
in
like
particular,
rules.
no shoes in the guest house.
Well,
The carpets are priceless.
I'm not wearing shoes right now
Well,
anyways.
How
We're
long
good.
are you staying for?
Apparently 3 hours.
Yes. The chief said it may be a while. I can see you don't mind getting your hands dirty, though.
Well, I
There's
was
not
eating a
many
Hot
visitors
Pocket.
of late. Perhaps the murder will bring some tourists in.
Ooh, tourists. Busy tours.
It's just you and some tarot readers at the moment. It's deathly quiet.
Deathly quiet. She did it. It's all her. Take her. She's the one at hand. Show's over. We know who it is. It is her. It is her.
Yes, the murder. You haven't spoken to the chief yet, have you?
What chief? I am the chief. I'm in charge over here.
Chief Dupont. He's the one who booked the room for you.
Twisted
look
said,
lost.
"Why is it always the
You should probably go
damn
and speak to the
redhead?"
chief. Your room is just down the hall, last
Oh
on
wait,
the left.
my wife is a
It
redhead.
has its own back door. The chief said that's the way you'd like it.
Wait, what's the way I'd like it?
Just finishing.
She said that that's the way I'd like it. I don't know what she's talking about. I think I wasn't paying attention. Predicting the future. I'm just looking for my room.
You don't believe?
I believe that you believe.
That's okay. Sometimes life is just a stream of coincidences. Hi, I'm Bronwyn.
Pleased to meet you.
Sam. If you'd like a reading.
Sure, why not?
So, what's your question, Sam?
Are you guilty?
Oh. The Page of Cups. It suggests I'm innocent of whatever it is I'm being accused of. I'm going to be seeing a lot more of you, aren't I, Sam?
That means she did it,
I'm in
and
room
so
one
did the
in
other
that
one.
cell.
They're in on it
Rain's in
together.
room 2, Lex is in 3. Which room are you in, Sam?
Sure, let them know what room I'm in, just so that they can go in and hang me or suffocate me or whichever. So, I'd rather not
Mysterious.
say.
But I know you're in room 4, Sam. Don't do it.
Oh, it just locked up.
After plummeting
Not
what
sure
was
what
probably
happened.
a few hundred meters more, he jerked to a sudden halt. That's the
He
end of the
jerked?
rope, Dimitri said out loud. He wasn't sure why he suddenly felt the need to narrate. He could almost convince himself that he was doing it for the recording device on his arm, or in the small hope that Dr. Utani and the others could still hear him, but secretly he knew. He simply wished to break the unsettling silence that commanded this deep and dark void. "All right, let's have some light," he said as he turned on the small lamp on his helmet. Dimitri slowly rotated it on the rope to inspect all...
Okay, let's just get to the room. Even though we were like 2 feet in front of it. Ooh, we found the bed. And a couch. Only a part of a couch. It won't show us the whole couch. A chair. A dresser. A pillow that looks like it was just laid on. Can we click on anything?
Now to take a photo, but Dimitri reached into another pouch and carefully took out a pencil and a piece of paper. I'll make a copy of the etchings for you, Dr. Utani. You can thank me when I come back up. He placed the piece of paper over the etchings and proceeded to rub it with the pencil, copying all of the
Not
writing took
understanding
longer
what
than
all
he would have
these-
liked.
Why it's
It
going
wasn't
through
easy
this
to
frame
find
and
some of
that
the small
frame.
markings in the pitch black darkness, so the work was tedious and
All right, let's do Stream Raiders real quick. Here we go. They're all built up and ready to go. 78 allies versus 37. Ha! I could do this with my eyes closed as I drink my Dr. Pepper. 77 versus 30. 76 versus 22. 75 versus 15. Ah, piece of cake. As we are victorious, beating the boss level, it goes to Twisted Angus and Rune Mason. The boss has been defeated. Defeated. And now we begin the next level. You place your units as we then beat yet another set of enemies. Boo-ha! He! Hoo-ha! Ha-ha! Okay. Place them now. As we get back to the game. Resume.
fiddly. Yet the soft scratching on the pencil had a soothing.
Okay, so we turn it off, we leave. So we visit.
Good, you got my message. Chief Inspector DuPont. I wasn't sure you'd come,
DuPont.
but I suppose you're between jobs? Well, we both know that's not true. But I like it. Sam, that's your cover now. So, the job. Dorota Shaw. 21, accomplished cellist, redhead.
Okay.
Strangled. I know who did it, but I need proof. It's the tarot readers. Because they predicted it. The older one, Bronwyn, she came into my office last night talking all crazy and saying Dorota was in trouble. I did my best not to lock her up.
Crazy, huh?
It all sounded crazy to me. Tarot, the spirit world, cards that move, trans-dimensional thingamajigs.
We can block that part out.
To be
That's
honest,
one of those
I
things
thought
that
she
just delete.
had been smoking something. That's why I didn't take it seriously.
Why isn't she
Because
in jail?
things. I don't have enough on her. That's where you come in.
Okay.
The free guest house stay isn't free. I need you to work the case and report back to me. Find out things from the inside.
You mean it's not
Can you
free?
do it?
But why is it a free guest house if it's not free? I'll try.
Okay. I'll be telling everyone that you've been hired by the Shaws because obviously local law enforcement is either too incompetent or too overworked to solve anything. That gives you a license to talk to people, but only notionally. Don't actually touch people or annoy them. You don't have any real authority, understand? But
Okay.
you help me out, I'll help you.
Copy that. Where's my
You don't get
badge?
that. There's no badge and gun, just a hope and a promise. Come and find me when you're settled. This is Second Chance Sunday for you, Sam. Don't blow it.
Second chance? What the fuck? We putting something up our nose? Ah, you got itchy.
What do you want to know? She was a cellist, selected for a scholarship at Juilliard.
Okay.
It's in the
Juilliard.
local paper. I'm more of a Bon Jovi fan myself.
Bon Jovi. When was
Don't
she
read the
killed?
paper, do you? Yesterday,
Monday.
Monday
The
the
9th.
9th, at approximately 9 p.m, according to the coroner.
Only
We got a
9.
call from the mother just after 10 p.m.
Do you have an alibi for last night?
Do I have an alibi for last night? Do I?
Yeah, you
Hey,
did it. You know you did.
I was here, and there are video monitors that will prove it. Thanks for ruling me out, genius. In her bedroom.
Her bedroom.
She was naked.
Oh.
Strangled.
So it was a prostitute.
No signs of sexual activity of any kind. It was a weird scene to look at.
Oh, no
There
sexual
was
activity.
one thing, but it's strictly
But it was
between
going to
you and
be.
me. Dorota had a gold coin in her mouth. I'm being
A
serious
gold
now,
coin.
Sam. Not a word of this.
Did anything pop
There's
out?
one thing only the killer would know.
What can you tell me about Violet?
All here, runs the local guest house. Lovely lady. Where are you going with this, Sam? What's she told you? Look, if it's about the pills, I already know. Not
What
much.
do you know?
Perhaps you should do some investigating?
But what if I
Not
ask it
much.
again?
Perhaps you should do some investigating?
All right, I'll visit the guest house. Ah. Oh, my back. Okay. Who shall we visit? Twisted, if you're here, who should we visit? Should we visit Violet? Bernwyn? Rain? Lexi? Should we just tune with the radio? Or do we go to our room?
You must be a new guest.
Rain.
Or you're burglaring us.
Oh
I'm Rain,
shit,
by the
how'd
way.
you know? I'm stealing the watch off your hand right now.
Pleased to meet you, Sam. Enjoy your stay. The hot water goes off at 9, by the way. So it's cold showers from there on in. It really bugs me.
Good, because after some of the women I've seen in there, I think my character's gonna need a cold shower. Okay, here we go.
We did a reading. A group reading, actually.
A group
With a special tarot
thing,
deck.
y'all. He does look a little nervous. What's a group?
The three of us get together and read the same cards.
They get
Bronwyn
together.
says it makes the whole thing stronger or more powerful or something.
It gets
But I'm pretty sure I'd
stronger.
get the same answers just on my own. I didn't know her. I know she was called Dorota Shaw. She was young, had red hair, a talented musician.
That means she knew her. He knew her.
Next victim? Whoa! Hold on a sec, we don't even know if there's going to be a next victim or not.
Do we?
We'll do another group reading soon, and then we'll have a better idea.
Ah. What were
I
you
was
doing last
in my
time?
room. Praying, actually.
Oh,
I don't believe in
they
God,
call it
but I was still
praying.
praying. It didn't
Oh.
work. I don't believe in anything. But I also believe anything is possible, so... it's a conundrum.
Tell me about the special tarot.
Mercury? It's not exactly from here. With a normal tarot deck, you'd have the question, so you'd be the querent. With Mercury, it gives you the question and the answer. The cards themselves kind of change. It's a special deck.
Special.
I don't have it at the moment. Bronwyn has it.
Brunwyn has it. We shall leave. So do we go straight to Brunwyn? Or should we go to Violet? Or to Lexi? So we just saw Rain. So who do we go to now, Twisted? Violet? Brunwyn? Or Lexi? Now Rain just sent us over to Brownweed. Okay.
Sam, is it? I'm sensing you're
The
not
whole-
here for a reading.
The whole cross-legged thing. I have some questions about the murder. How did you predict the murder? Where were you at 9 p.m. last night?
In my room, reading. I found
Reading?
a trashy romance novel.
They
under
have
the bed.
different-
I'm assuming it's Violet's.
Reading
It's
a
all
trashy romance novel.
Swooning heroines and brooding
that her
vampire
version of porn?
Casanovas. Thank God Lexi saved me.
Saved you?
She came to my room to chat for a little while. That was around 9, I think. You can ask her.
That means there's definitely a cover-up and there's some people in on it.
I
You
said
think
the
Violet
book
is
was trashy.
The book was
Look
trashy.
at this place. If her guest house is anything to go by, Violet's the opposite of trashy. We
How
saw
did
it in
you
the
predict the
cards,
murder?
not images, feelings, impressions. Tarot can be very powerful.
I know exactly what you're talking about, Twisted, but we don't want to give that away either. We don't want to give that away, spoiling it for anybody else. Oh, y'all don't see what y'all gotta mention that. If you see something that I need to move, then let me know. Apparently, y'all can't see the options that I have. So I'm going to move my camera and let me know if that's in the way at all. Why does it keep checking this woman out? It's like, here's her legs, here's her hand, here's her arm, and her hand holding some type of thread, while she's moving her other hand. It's like, what the hell's with the camera angles? Okay. So, is that better now? Camera location for this movie one is better?
Not these cards. They only tell us what they want us to know.
I know, right? Okay. I have some questions about the murder. Or can I see the mercury?
Sure. I'll just get it. It feels a bit sacrilegious just spreading it out to show you.
Spreading
Doesn't
it out,
really
huh?
answer questions, it more asks them. Do you want it to ask you a question, Sam?
Sure.
It wants to know if you're happy being the person you are now.
You see the angle it gives her? But at the same time, it also puts that look in her face like she did something.
Mercury doesn't agree. In fact, if anything, and I could be wrong, it's suggesting that you're not even the person you're saying you are now. I've only had that reading once before. Chief Dupont thinks I did it. I'm hoping you'll convince him otherwise. All I'm asking is that you dig a little deeper than the chief. I had nothing to do with Dorota's death.
Deeper than the chief, huh? Well, how deep did the chief go?
We saw danger in the cards and we tried to stop it. Trust me, Sam, we're on the same team.
Are we? Are we really? It looks like there were some options I could have selected that I didn't select. So do we visit Violet? Or do we visit Lexi? Which one, Twisted? Or anybody else that's out there? Violet or Lexi? Lexi.
Hi.
Oh, she
Sam,
did
is
it too.
Come on in. Make yourself at home.
No, wait.
Mi casa es
She
mi
looks
casa.
like just the suspicious person that's always there. She didn't do it. She's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs as it is. Although, you see one hand there, but you see the other hand, that's probably got a knife ready to stab you. But why, again, is it showing, like, the thigh view of the person? Why? There we go. Now we got the top part. Is this a damn what? What's that? Brothel. Alright, so... Where were
I
you?
was in my room all night.
What were you
with
doing
Bronwyn.
last night?
We were painting our nails.
Painting nails, huh? Can I see your nails?
I mean, yeah. I've already cleaned it off.
That's not suspicious at all. We painted our nails, but I didn't like it, so I really quickly put it in that nail paint remover thingy, and then whoosh, its fingernail polish remover is gone. And look, even these fingers did really, really well.
I don't know anyone in this town, except for Bronwyn and Rain, obviously, and Violet, and the Chief, and now you. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
How did you know she was going
Good
to die?
old-fashioned fortune-telling. Well, kind of. We drew a card each and smushed them all together. Do you know what the most dangerous tarot card is?
A happy squirrel?
You've done your research. The happy squirrel was vague and mysterious, but not evil. The Five of Swords. I think so anyway. There's nothing more dangerous than someone taking whatever they want, no matter the cost.
She's moving her hands like she did it. They all did it, but somebody's the mastermind behind it.
Yeah, I did. Rain got the Knight of Wands, that's Dorota, and Bronwyn got the Ten of Swords, which is, well, you know. Swords in general are bad.
Okay.
The cards told us to. Well, the cards of Rain. Tarot gives us a rough direction, and he narrows it down with some astrological jiggery-pokery. He's basically a walking esoteric library. And if that sounds dull, let me reassure you, it is. No? Well, yeah. Well, no. We have a job to do.
Yes, no, maybe so. Well, job. Yeah, they're doing a job, all
I didn't
right.
say job. I said job.
Chob? What's a chob?
Okay. We make a cheese obelisk, a chob, and depending on the shape of that chob, we get different answers to questions. No, you don't. She's like my big sister.
I know
so
you're lying.
Pretty well.
No, you don't. That's like a 2-year-old saying, I'm not lying. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Oh my god.
No.
There's so much left there behind that. Alright, so who do we got left? We got Violet.
I assume you've been to see Chief DuPont already.
We've already
Not really.
spoke with her.
I'm sure she was a precious lamb.
We did the
though.
radio, but we'll do the radio again in a moment.
Yes, a lamb.
A lamb?
Young. Innocent.
Is its fleece white as
Lambs
snow?
get slaughtered though, don't they? Nice, yes, that's a good description. Actually, I thought she was a bit slutty, to be honest.
Y'all, the way that these camera angles go, y'all all look slutty right now. See, look, it's like, no, I'm not trying to get your attention at all. Do you think he's on to us?
Sorry. I'm gossiping. I don't want to talk ill of the dead. Ask her boyfriend.
Boyfriend? Were there many?
Oscar lives at the vicarage next to the church. Don't tell him I sent you, though. I'm sure he's sick of seeing people already.
Who are the other guests?
Tarot readers. I'm thinking about
Tarot
asking them to leave,
readers.
actually.
Y'all should leave. Why do
Because
you want
they
them
may
leave?
have killed someone.
But
It's
wouldn't
not
you want
great
them
for my
trapped in here
reputation,
then?
is it? Stay at Violet's, the home of killers and hobos. I'm
Hobos?
sorry, it's a derogatory word, isn't it? But strange people seem to gravitate towards this guest house, Sam. I think I'll get the sign changed.
Changing the sign. What should the sign change to? One of those what did they call those old whorehouses back in the Western days? I'm kidding.
I take clozapine. I think they're for anxiety. I'm a very
Why does that sound
anxious
familiar?
person.
But how anxious are you?
I don't know, Dr. Sam. You tell me. It's the strangest thing. I honestly don't remember.
I remember that
Did I
name was
imagine
something
I was
about
here or getting groceries somewhere?
chloroform or something as well, but yeah. She's picking it like she did something. Wait, that's like her belt thing she's picking at. Is she ready to like invite you to something?
I've driven by it. Never actually been in it.
Oh, this is what she's doing right now. She's like, And see, that's the thing. Whenever it's these detective things and everything, we're really looking to see for any type of clues or so forth. Like you're looking for this stuff, but you can't tell if it's meant for you to notice it, or if it's to throw you away, or if it's just bad acting, or what. We don't know yet. All right, so we leave. We went to Rain already, right?
A weapon of combat, but then if I look at it more closely, I would say a mirror, a handheld mirror.
You're right. Well done, Monroe.
Wow.
But it's not just a mirror. It's something
Mirror,
you might do your
mirror
makeup
on
and
the
check
wall.
your hairstyle. By the way, you have impeccable hairstyle today.
Thank you
Monroe,
very much,
as usual. It's a reflecting mirror, but it's 6 o'clock and you're listening to Radio August. Police investigating the murder of Dorota Shaw are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe?
Despicable
It's
act.
just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip
Radio
Festival.
August? Shouldn't we just
Indeed.
listen to Radio August
I
in August,
understand
though?
why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout
Dry and warm.
for
It's
dark
cold outside
clouds
here.
on the horizon, as there may be scattered showers.
Scattered
Let's take an umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
I like getting wet.
Oh my
That's
god.
6 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
She likes getting wet, y'all. Ah.
And I'm discovering lots of empty rooms I'd forgotten I had. Every time I find a new
Do
room,
we want to go
there's
to the
another
next
room
chapter
leading
or
off it.
visit the chief? Let's visit the chief.
Pains me to think that I was even on the list, but I'm ruled out because we have video footage of me in the station at the time of the murder. Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi say they were in the same room last night. Shame they can't agree which one. The tarot readers have mentioned a job. We don't know what. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, and you found out she's taking pills. Perhaps they're related. That's it.
So we gotta go back and ask some more? Maybe we're not done yet. We gotta go back to the guest house.
All these different parts have issues or unresolved issues that have not been...
Let's turn the radio off. Why won't it let me talk to you anymore? What about back to Violet? I guess that's it.
It's 6 o'clock and you're listening
The
to
next
Radio
chapter.
August. Police investigating the murder of Dorota Shaw are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe?
It's just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip Festival.
Indeed. I understand why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout for dark clouds on the horizon, as there may be scattered showers. Let's take an umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
I like getting wet.
Didn't she already say
That's
that once?
6 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
Oh my god. Apparently she likes getting wet a lot. Okay, so I thought we... So, I guess we go next chapter.
Find somewhere safe to transition. You're not a superhero.
Oh, I get it. I get it. So we can now transform into other people.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn.
Okay, so we can transform and then start asking.
Hi, I'm Lexi. Oh, I'm Lexi.
So we're going to transform to her first.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn.
So we can't visit ourselves, obviously.
Bron, something doesn't feel right. I don't know what exactly, but it's not right.
Thoughts on Dorota?
Well, it's hard to say with just one victim. Musical talent, red hair. If there's another, there will be a pattern.
Well, what type of
Do you
pattern?
think it's another right?
A right?
As in the same thing we were chasing after in Birmingham? I suppose it doesn't really matter. Just have to try and stop it.
Stop it? Birmingham?
The Traveller? Dead girls? Ring any bells?
Traveller?
Bron, you're acting weird. Are you still you?
Of course. No.
Is there something I can help with, Miss Castle?
I hope we're not being too much trouble.
It's very brave of you to tell the chief that Dorota will be murdered and then stick around afterwards. I'd have run for sure.
You strike me as someone braver than that. Why would I run?
You're prime suspect, aren't you? You look strong enough to strangle another woman. Even if you're innocent, a jury would probably convict you.
Even if I'm innocent?
My mind's not made up. I just don't understand why you'd broadcast your victim before you did it.
Okay. Oh, we already did. So now we're gonna visit Lexi.
Ron, are you okay?
I'm not okay.
Well, if you're worried, I should be worried. Why are you worried? Should I be worried?
Are you worried?
Only if you are. This could go on in circles for a while. Let's just keep cool and stay in our rooms.
Okay.
Miss Castle, I'm surprised to see you here.
I didn't kill Dorota.
You're a prime suspect, and your alibi is that you were in the guest house with another prime suspect at the time. It doesn't look good for you.
Have you got a problem with me?
Everyone has a problem with you, Bronwyn. I can arrest you for something right now. How does perverting the course of justice sound?
Kinky.
Oh my god.
Oh, you are pushing me today, young lady.
Let's see what else we got. So we go to the room and change to somebody else.
Hi, I'm Lexi. Oh,
Hi.
I'm Lexi.
Hi, I'm Lexi. Hi, I'm like I can't do it. So now we visit.
What's up, Lexi? I'm sensing something's on your mind.
I'm worried about our alibi.
Don't worry about that. We don't have anything to hide. I'm more worried about Ray. Since when did he start praying?
You think he's lying?
Of course not. This is Rain we're talking about. I was just saying it's odd, that's all.
So if
maybe he's found
whatever they were
God?
doing, maybe he's the one behind it now. He was the one killing all the other ones at the other location. See, she goes into that type of pose thing again.
Hello, Lexi. What can I do for you?
Please don't ask us to leave. The police want alibis from everyone for last night.
Well, I don't have one. I literally can't remember what I was doing.
Please don't ask us to leave.
Have you been speaking to Sam? You're safe. For the minute.
For the minute.
That sounds ominous.
1, 2, 3, 4. See, why does it go again to that whole leg thing? I'm doing the thing with my leg, my hands on my knee, and folding my clothes, just playing with my clothes.
If one of your crew did murder Dorota,
I think I need another
you can't
Dr.
really
Pepper.
stay here, can you?
Oh, we got Stream Raiders ready, y'all. All right, let's see if we got enough. 15, is that going to be enough this time around? Eleven versus 8. I think we got it, y'all. Peace, okay. Game over. The winners are Juxta and Bartola. And now we go on to the next. Round 1. Fight. All right, back to the game. So, who do you think it is right now? Do you think it's the two that are messing up with their alibi? Or is there something else that they're up to? Do you think it's the one that's going to kick everyone else out? Because there's still some clues she left behind in her hotel thingy. Do you think it's the chief that runs the town? Do you think it's the other guy that was praying? We shall see.
Something's weird, isn't it? Everyone seems strange today.
How are you?
Do you think Dorota was planning on marrying Oscar?
Who's
What
Oscar?
makes you say that?
Well, nothing. It's just something I thought I saw. It doesn't matter.
We never saw the other guy yet. We already spoke with her. And then we spoke with Violet.
What is it, Miss Taylor?
Why did you hire Sam?
I didn't hire Sam, the Shaw family did.
No, they didn't.
Tarot cards tell you that. Listen, Sam gets results. Nobody knows how, but the results are got. I want the killer found as quickly as possible. You got a problem with that?
Who would want to kill?
Are you doing your own investigation? Great! Let me know when you find out.
Bronwyn thinks you've got it in for her.
I go after bad guys. If she's a bad guy, then I've got it in for her.
Why weren't the... What were you doing Monday night? Why weren't the police protect...
In hindsight, that does look like a good idea, doesn't it? We didn't believe you. We still don't.
Dorota's boyfriend seems sweet.
Have you met him?
Yes. No. Yes. No.
Still sticking with that, huh?
Are Dorota's family safe?
Why? What are you gonna do?
Nothing, just checking. Nobody's safe.
I've got my eye on you, Lexi Taylor. Lexi. Rain. Are they even your real names?
We go to our room and we change over to this dude now.
Hi,
Hi.
Hi. Hi, I'm
Hi.
Chief DuPont.
I'm Chief DuPont. I'm Chief DuPont. Oh, I didn't mean to switch to...
Hello,
Fucker.
I'm Violet.
Hello, I'm Violet.
I'm Violet.
I'm Violet.
You don't trust me, do you, Violet? Is it because I read tarot? Why don't you let me pull a card for you?
No,
Great. What do you want to know about?
the murder. My love. The murder.
Interesting choice. So do the cards. 8 of Wands. Everything's happening all at once. We have to act fast, or at least someone does.
Did you sleep well last?
Yes, thank you.
I didn't see you yesterday.
I stayed in my room. You can ask Lexi. That reminds me, I think I found a book of yours. It's called He Came Through the Shadows.
What makes you?
Your name's written on the inside cover.
So now we've...
Mrs. Gallagher, an unexpected pleasure.
How?
In town? I really don't know. Until the tarot tells us to leave, or you kick us out, obviously.
Really?
How did you know Dorota was going to die? How? Why do you think the police suspect Bronwyn?
Now that's a very good question. Logically speaking, you'd assume all three of us were in on it. Or none of us.
But he didn't assume just one of the three of them. So that means it's gotta be him, because he didn't isolate himself or each individual. It was all or nothing.
Hello, Violet. Is everything okay? Ignore the mess. I was just going to tidy it up.
Sure you were.
Did you have a pleasant evening?
Great, thanks. The room's really lovely.
But you weren't in this room, were you? I didn't see you around yesterday evening.
I stayed here. I was playing solitaire with Bronwyn.
Isn't solitaire for one player? You weren't painting your nails?
Yeah, I was playing and she was scoring.
Interesting. There's a lot of lying going on. We did all the talking. Now we go to the room. That didn't sound right. That's not what I meant.
Hello.
We go to the room
I'm
to
Rain.
change into as another person.
I'm Rain.
I'm Rain. Now we leave. Then we go in here. And then we do some more talking. And some talking. And some talking. Violet's not there?
Have you met the new detective yet? We're basically under 24-hour surveillance now.
Why is Violet not there?
Do you think Sam's onto us?
Onto what exactly?
The real reason we're here. What we did, our role in the murder. The real reason.
Sam's not a mind reader. At least I don't think so. Just try not to let anything slip.
Rain, I'm so worried about Bronwyn. What are we going to do?
Why are you worried?
The chief thinks she killed Dorota.
Maybe.
That's not even funny, Rain. Bronwyn's the least murdery person we know.
The least
Okay,
murdery
let's say she
person.
did do it. What possible reason could she have for killing Dorota?
Psychopathic tendencies? Crime of passion?
Yeah, Bronwyn's a real bunny boiler.
Okay. So we can only select certain options. We went to Violet, but Violet is not there. Like, you can't actually go to talking between them two. That right there is suspicious. So it's Rain and Violet. We were the other ones of them, right? So we just wasn't this one.
Hi,
Hi.
Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
Who knows whether you've made the right decision or not, Claude?
How's Bronwyn been? What were you doing last night?
See, again, she's messing with that button thingy. Why? They got the oddest things.
What were you doing last night?
Claude, we've been through this.
Have we?
I honestly don't remember. I checked my diary and there's no entry, so I was probably here, as always. I don't know. Which is exactly what I said in my statement. Don't try and get me to contradict myself.
How's Bronwyn?
Overly nice. She's
nice.
covering her tracks well if she has anything to hide.
But does she have something?
What was it I asked you to do again?
You just told me to report back to you if I noticed anything suspicious. Good grief, Claude. You're a bit young to be losing your marbles already.
I've lost many marbles. Okay, so let's visit these other ones now.
Chief DuPont. What
A
a pleasant surprise. I think we've covered just about everything twice over, but if you think I'm hiding something...
Who are you really?
Does it bother you, Chief DuPont, knowing there are things in this world that aren't black and white? You don't know what to file me under, and that makes you uncomfortable.
Does it?
Or perhaps you've already made up your mind about me. Why don't you tell me who you think I am?
Should I respond?
You're a con. You're
I haven't asked anyone for a penny.
The con artist.
Good evening, Chief DuPont.
Dorota's family. Dorota's family. What does the tarot say about them?
I can do a reading if you want.
Yes.
It's the Five of Cups. It talks about loss and dealing with that loss.
Okay.
I don't think you need a tarot reader to interpret that one.
Bronwyn never been arrested?
Not since I've met her. She's a lawful good type character.
Too good.
If you play D&D.
Oh.
Lexi ever been in
D&D,
trouble
yeah.
with the police?
No. Not to my knowledge. She's sweet and innocent.
Which the more this
haven't
talk
you
goes
picked up on
by,
that yet?
then the more he talks about this, then he did it. It won't let me talk anymore about what he did, or if he was that way.
Oh, Chief Inspector, you gave me a shock. What is it? What have I done?
Tell me about Bronwyn.
She's an Aquarius. Her favourite colour is green. What else do you need to know?
Is she your
Leader? This isn't a cult. She looks after me and Rain. Make sure we eat healthy and brush our teeth.
So yeah, she's a leader.
Why are you here in August?
Well, it's not for the nightlife, I can tell you that. This is where the cards told us to go. I guess you could call it destiny.
Do you know anyone here?
What's
There
wrong
isn't
with the
any.
nightlife?
And sometimes a girl needs a party.
Oh, you need a party.
What were you doing last night?
Nothing. I mean, I was here all night. This cat's on a Bron can vouch for me.
So she didn't even say much on that. Okay, so is that everybody? We go to the room. We were everyone already. So now we're Sam. And now we go on to the next day.
It is, and that's where it's staying. You don't need to see it, Sam. Violet can get confused at times. Just keep doing what you're doing and we'll get along fine.
So it's
Pains me to
suspicious, though,
think
that
I
that
was even
one
on the
guy
list,
couldn't
but I'm ruled
talk
out
to
because
the
we
other
have
one.
video footage of me in the station at the time of the
Couldn't talk
murder.
to...
Rain says he was praying in his room, alone.
Excuse me, Violet.
Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi say they were in the same room last night. Shame they can't agree which one. The tarot readers have mentioned a job. We don't know what. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, and you found out she's taking pills. Perhaps they're related. That's it.
It's 6 o'clock, and you're listening to Radio August. Police investigating the murder of Dorota Shaw are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe?
It's just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed.
So we've heard this
New
part
dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip Festival?
Indeed. I understand why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout
So is
for
this the same
dark
night?
clouds on the
Like, we're
horizon,
here-
as there may
Watch
be
this, we're gonna
scattered
hear
showers.
the whole wet
Best
thing
take an
again.
umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
I like getting wet. That's 6 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
So it's just a replay. So we visit Oscar.
Who are you?
first.
Right, because the local police are so rubbish. It's been a whole day. It's typical of them. Yeah, I went round there in the afternoon. Her parents were at work, and we were, you know, hanging out. I left at about
Hanging out.
5. Playing football. It was just 5-a-side. Finished at about 9:30. I called her, but she never picked up. Not much. They always seemed happy to see me. I don't think they meant it. They wanted Dorota to focus on her music.
Focus on her music. How long were you dating Dorota?
Not long, a couple of months maybe. But we did care for each other.
Any idea who would do this to her? Was she seeing anyone else?
No one. She was really popular.
Is it possible the killer was hiding in Dorota's room?
What, you mean watching us? That's disturbing. No, it couldn't have been. The only place he could have hidden would be in the closet, and I suppose someone could have hidden in the closet.
Must be a big closet.
Yeah, it's big enough for 2 people to have sex in. Not 4s.
Really now? So that's a little too much information.
She had a few kinks, nothing weird. Yeah, a band from the 60s. I'm not discussing this with you.
What was in the closet?
Clothes, mainly. I did see something that freaked me out a bit. She had a wedding dress in there.
Wedding dress in there.
She knew I'd seen it, but we never talked about it. Not even as a joke.
Was she married before? Why would someone kill? Do you think Oscar killed her?
Vicar's son. No. As far as I can tell, Oscar is a good boy.
Oh,
but
good
we've all
boy.
got different faces now, haven't we, Sam? The masks we wear. I could be a satanic cultist behind closed doors, but you'd never know, would you, Sam?
Really? Behind closed doors?
She flaunts herself.
She flaunts herself?
Her body. Had boudoir photographs taken. Who do you think those photos were for, Sam? Her mother.
Alright, sounds like you know a lot about her. Who were they for?
Not really, just gossip.
Gossip.
Apparently she went to have some portrait photos done and started stripping off. Weston's photographic. Zach Weston. He'll get himself into trouble one of these days.
More info, huh?
If you keep taking pictures of pretty girls in their underwear, somebody's going to get upset. Zach's the local photographer. You should go and talk to him, Sam. You're good at talking.
And I know.
At Weston's photographic?
So we got
off
a new
the
one
high
to look
road?
up.
It's late, but he's always there. I have a good memory. I'm still holding grudges from when I was 4.
Now that right there is a suspicion already. Holding the grudges and stuff like that, that puts her back definitely on the suspect list. I'm not sure about the top though. Hello again.
Yes, he came to see me. He wanted to know that she was okay, spiritually speaking. He confided in me quite a bit, actually. He seemed to appreciate having someone to talk to, and he knew I couldn't tell anyone what he said. Oh, Sam, you know I can't do that. Tarot reader client confidentiality. Oh, she gets
So
easily
she was
confused.
in her room last night.
Use of
Sorry,
today.
I should be reading these off. I'm reading it in my head and I shouldn't be doing that. Runwin, tell me the truth.
Fine. Jeeve Dupont was breathing down her neck, so we thought it would be simpler if we stuck together. If these walls weren't separating our rooms, then technically it'd be true. To protect Lexi. None of this is her fault, and she gets anxious easily. I was just trying to take the pressure off. I'm sorry, Sam. I never usually lie.
What were you doing?
I was logged into Tarotasm. It's a phone reading service, and I get paid by the minute. Which, now that I'm saying it, it's not something I really should be bragging about.
Get paid by the minute, huh? You sure it's just a tarot reading?
Sam, what can I do for you?
How did you get Dorota's name from the tarot? Lexi mentioned you're here to do a job?
We're trying to save people.
It's not working.
I said we're trying. We have a gift. We have Mercury, the tarot. It tells us where bad things are going to happen, and we try and stop them.
Okay.
We didn't. Lexi used a Ouija board to get the name.
A Ouija board?
It's Lexi's thing. I don't personally go near them, but in this case, it did help. No. Lexi needs to give it context from the tarot reading. A lot of the time, it comes up with nothing. Or a sordid comment directed at Lexi. I think that's why she keeps using it, to be honest. Once we thought there was going to be a murder, Lexi used the Ouija board to find out the victim's name. It spelled out Dorota.
How does it work?
Just... This is going to sound weird. Most people believe Ouija boards contact the dead. So if Lexi contacts a dead person, that person needs to know what happens in the future. Ergo, maybe the person she's contacting is from the future. A time traveler who died here.
Time travel is real?
Well, not just time travel, time and space travel is also possible. If we accept the fact there are multiple realities, we must also accept there are others like us who found a way to travel between these realities.
Where were you before August?
Birmingham. We couldn't save anyone there either. The problem with travelers is... Well, let's put a pin in this one, Sam. Let me ask Bronwyn. If she says it's okay to talk about it, it's okay to talk about it.
It's Lexi's. I like to think it works the way most metaphysical things work.
Again, I'm not reading it, sorry.
Energy.
I'm reading it, but I'm not. Energy or what metaphysical things?
Tarot cards, runes, Ouija boards. They're just devices for asking questions and receiving answers. But energy is what powers them.
Energy is what powers them. We asked her everything already, right? Yeah.
Hi Sam, back from more already? Traveller?
Traveller.
That's a really old role-playing game, isn't it? Oh, did he now? Well then, you know what I know. I guess you must be a part of our inner circle. How does it feel?
Let's try not to do that one.
No, I think Bronwyn met him though.
What for?
You'd have to ask her, or him. It's not my place to say.
Oh, we've already had that conversation. Why did you lie about your alibi?
I didn't. How did you find out? Am I in trouble? Ron was worried about me not having an alibi. She was logged in doing phone readings, so she's alright. But there's nothing to prove that I was here. I was though, cross my heart and hope to die.
But what were you doing?
Oh, it's just your run-of-the-mill spirit communication device. Want to know how it works?
Let's hear it.
Cool, okay. So Ouija boards send us messages from the spirit world, right?
Okay.
But where is the spirit world? I mean, there's planets and stars and space. The spirit world must be really far away beyond all that.
Go on.
We're so far to travel, messages from the spirit world must take ages to get here. Like how light from the sun takes 8 minutes or something to reach us. You still with me?
I guess.
Oh, you're sweet.
Hooked on your every word.
Where was I? Oh, so here's my point. The spirit world
has
is
a
actually
point,
several
y'all.
hours ahead of us. That's how we get messages about things that haven't happened yet.
Okay.
That's how we got Dorota's name. Because in the spirit world, she was already dead.
Oh! I'm kidding. Like, wow, you just blew my mind. I'm just kidding.
I know. Mind-blowing.
She knew what I was saying. It's mind-blowing. I'm just fucking with you. I do have this down as first playthrough, don't I? No, I don't. Hang on. Okay, here we go. So who have we not spoken with yet? Now we still have to go through as each character again.
It's 7 o'clock, and here's the latest August update. Chief DuPont of August Police is urging residents to be vigilant tonight following the brutal murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Whilst he stresses there is no immediate threat to the community at large, residents should be on the lookout until the killer is in police custody. Miss Shaw was found strangled in her bedroom home last night.
Okay.
Poe, I heard she was found by her mother.
Truly awful. Mother caught me up to all sorts of mischief in my bedroom. Also in the news, emergency services were called to the crossroads at Grange Avenue and Church Street following a collision between two cars. There are no reports of any serious injuries, but you might want to take a different route for now.
Oh no. It's going to be one of those nights, Poe.
Stay with me, doll. I'll keep you safe.
I'm not going anywhere. That's 7 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and go to Stream Raiders. Oh, we got 2 minutes left. That's enough. Visit the chief.
Any more news on Oscar Wainwright? Yep, that's what you told me too. Not a suspect. Just the tarot readers.
Just a tarot reader.
No one else is remotely suspicious compared to them. Got any reason for saying that?
Add Violet.
I'll look into it.
She doesn't know where she was that night. They were lying about their alibis.
Got any proof? Good work, Sam.
Yep,
I'm impressed. Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bromman and Lexi lied about their alibis. I'm thinking what to do about it. Apparently, Lexi used a Ouija board to get to Rota's
know that much.
The tarot readers mentioned Birmingham. You're looking into it. There's some talk about a traveller, whatever that is.
A traveller?
Oscar's not a suspect. He was playing football last night with lots of witnesses.
Lots.
According to Oscar, Dorota had a wedding dress in her closet, which is strange. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. And finally, you pulled the name Zach Weston from somewhere, saying he's the town photographer? I've never run into him. Still, I guess I'm not in the papers that much. That's it.
Alright, so let's leave and check out... We already went to Oscar, right? Anything else to ask him?
That's personal.
Yeah, so you wanted her to contact
I said I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it. Did she ever do the tarot?
No, not to me anyway. She wasn't into fortune telling or any of that stuff.
Okay. You know tarot readers predicted her
yeah,
murder?
Chief DuPont told me. He thinks it's one of them that killed her. Bronwyn?
Bronwyn said Dorota kissed her.
That's disturbing.
That's disturbing.
That's impossible. I don't think those two ever met. Why would she say that?
Alright, so we're going back to the guest house. Now we need to change up. Before we do anything else, we're going to go ahead and do Stream Raiders. Versus 38. I think we got it. $12 versus 35. As long as we got enough distant attacks. 11 versus 32. $10 versus 20. We're getting up to the next house, 10 versus 15. Alright, and we go to the next. We got 9 versus 3. We'll get another big little boss thingy up in here. Well, not boss thingy. Do we think there's going to be another one that comes out of that house before we get up to finish it off? We're racing to it. Yep, they got another one. And we won! Hip hip hooray! The winners are Juggle Donuts and, well, the rewards go to Juggling Donuts and Cyberpunk. And then we go again as we place them all down. Let's do this. Alright, now we're back in here and we're continuing, and we're on, I guess, day 2 or chapter 2. So let's click back on here. And we need to go to our room.
Your ability isn't endless. It will run out at some point.
Okay. So let's see again whether or not he can
Hello.
see the other girl.
I'm Rain.
Because what's her face? The first one, Violet or something like that, he wasn't able to talk to prior. So go to Violet.
Rain,
There we go.
can I help?
About last night,
Was there a problem?
About last night.
my tap was dripping, but I fixed it. Where were you?
My tap was dripping, but I fixed it. Where were you?
Dripping? Maybe I was in my bedroom.
Maybe I was in my bedroom.
That's out of bounds to you.
That's out of bounds to you. Okay. Interesting.
Don't forget the group reading, Ray. By which I mean, if you see Lexi, tell her not to forget the group reading.
What's the plan?
She's gonna forget it.
We still don't know what we're dealing with. There's every chance that it could just be a normal human murder.
Could it?
What if it's not a normal human murder?
What if it's not a normal human murder?
Then we have to assume that it's some kind of traveler.
What kind of
Like in
traveler?
Birmingham? A traveller from where?
From where? From when? We don't even know if it is a traveler yet. Let's just get the group reading done. Maybe then we'll have some answers.
So now we talk over with Lexi.
What do you think of Sam?
Oh, I'll totally
What do you
hit
think
that.
of Sam?
Apart from the whole investigating Bronwyn for murder thing, of course. But that's a minor flaw. I can work around it.
I hear Sam likes...
Really? Well, you know, I'm not surprised. I am a total babe.
They got a thing for each other? Okay. So now we... Do we hail a cab and visit Oscar? No, we don't. Do we visit the chief? No, we don't. So we visit the guest house again. Then we go somewhere else. We go to the room. To change to him. Let's see if
I'm
there's something.
Oscar. Is there anything else I
Let's
can do?
see if there's anything we can put together here. If there's any other relations with any of the other clients to him.
Oscar Wainwright. What a surprise.
Wainwright. That's it? Why couldn't we visit her? That's interesting. Hey, how you doing? This is the ShapeShifting Detective. It's a one of those interactive movie games. I've been doing a lot of the interactive movies, mostly on Fridays. But we're also trying to complete. I actually don't have it on my thing. I should have typed it. We're trying to complete 50 games. We've completed 11 of 50. We cannot buy any new games or bundles until we complete 50 games live on stream. So this one here is another interactive movie one, and it seems to be more of an investigator thing where you can actually shift into, you can shift shape into different people, and no one else knows that you're doing it except the chief, or not chief, the what is it, the, yeah, I guess the chief. And so we're already into chapter 2 on this, and we're collecting everybody's alibis and thoughts and who's doing what, when, why, where, gossips and stuff like that, trying to do a predict on a murder. So what happened was a woman got murdered, and beforehand, these tarot readers, there's 3 of them, these psychics or tarot readers would actually go up to the chief and warn them that that person was going to die. And then it happened. They didn't believe them. So then it happened, and now they're suspects along with anyone else in the hotel bed. And we're gathering more suspects, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. And this is our first playthrough with it. So we're trying to do a lot of first playthroughs, as especially horrors and mysteries and stuff like that, because I try not to look too much into it. And as far as the previews and stuff like that from it, to where I can put my own story together, and instead of being scared or anything else like that, I'm normally one that laugh or predicts this and predicts that, especially mysteries. I love to predict them and stuff like that. So we got a lot of different things we're putting together. I think we're still getting some other suspects, but so far a lot of it is between Violet and Rain. Yes, it is on Steam. uh it is part of a what is it? They have a sale currently on Steam on some of these. It's from a specific company that's doing them. If you do a search for the FMV game sale, you'll see it that way. But there was another company. I don't have the exact company that makes it. It was like a British company of some sort. Let me see if I can get that. It's the September 2020 choice of score. No. It's titled the Ultimate FMV Bundle 1. It has a lot of those in there. But I don't see of the other things. So, like, there's one bundle for several of these games. Does that say 13 or 20? Or, hang on. It is... No, I can't see that one. I can't read it. Hang on, let me see if I expand it out. There it goes. 1927 right now for how many games is that? One of the ones that were really good that we did was the bunker and the complex were good. The bunker was so. I liked Late Shift a lot better. And now we're doing the shapeshifter ones. But there are sales on it. It is on Steam. You can get it on Steam, and there's a lot of list of those games as well. One of the other ones I'm looking to do is Made of Skur. But there is a sale somewhere that was on their... trying to get the exact company name for that game. And then we'll get back to the game here. Give me a second. It is... store... Wales Interactive. So if you do a search for Wales Interactive, you'll actually see... so it's like, I guess, a British or English company. Wales Interactive, you'll see a lot of their interactive games. I went through some of them to look them up and so forth, and it's actually pretty interesting. I like some of them. Some seem too short, some seem blah, or like it couldn't go too much with the stories. A lot of these you can expand them out to the different ones. Made of Scar and are based in Wales. Yeah, so Made of Scar is one that I'm actually going to be looking at soon as well. That's on my list of ones that I want or so forth. But I've gone through a large list of them. There's some other companies of interactive movies that I've gone through as well. I started with the interactive movie ones mainly with the horror stuff, like the Dark Pictures anthology, and I can't wait for the 4th one to come out this year with them. So yeah, I really have been getting into doing the interactive movies and stuff like that. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. I'm trying to remember who we spoke with and who we haven't spoke with. So this one here, we can morph into different people, but we have to go to our room in order to do it. So we were just now the boyfriend. I think we were also the other guy.
Hi, I'm Lexi. Oh,
now we're gonna do Lexi.
I'm Lexi.
Now, I didn't really expect this one to be that good when I saw just the first real quick commercial thing of it. It looked a little cheap, and I'm noticing the camera angles they're doing. They go too much down to like the legs and the arms type bit, and I could have done some I could have wanted some better angles or shots or so forth. I mean, you start to wonder why they're showing those images in the first place. All right, so here we go. So there's no Violet to talk to. There's her.
Dorota had a boyfriend.
Oscar. The guy I met this morning? The one I
Oscar?
told you about. Yes.
What did he...
Answers. Reassurance.
Reassurance.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness
Do you
for
think
what?
he killed her?
Do you think she killed her?
Not considering what he asked me to do.
Well, what did you ask? Well, why did she not say what it asked to do? Alright, so Rain.
I feel sad for Oscar.
Bronwyn said to stay away from him and the family. We're drawing too much attention to ourselves. We won't be able to finish our job.
Job?
Job, with a question.
Are you wearing a wire? You know why we're here. Don't make me say it.
Say it.
No. Stop being silly.
So there's a job, but what job is it? So we attempted to visit all of them. I think that was all of them. So we go back to the room. We go to her. So we're shape-shifting into her right now. We got to go to the room every time to do the shape-shifting.
Bronwyn.
Oh, don't want to do that. I kept thinking that I was going to select her to go to the room. But no, I got to go out here first and then visit Violet.
I'm true. I didn't see you here last night.
I didn't
What
see
are you
you here last
implying?
night.
It's just suspicious.
I didn't even know the girl. You predicted her murder. Who's more suspicious?
See, the way that she says that,
I'm
it's
truly
suspicious as
sorry
if
about
it's
Dorota.
deliberately trying to push the blame somewhere else.
I didn't really know her.
Did you not?
I saw her pictures in the newspaper. Can't remember what for right now.
Something in the newspaper. Okay, so we got to remember that. There's little notes we got to remember. Now we're visiting Rain.
You can tell Sam about Birmingham. What did you tell the police you were doing last night?
What did you tell
I
the
told them
police
the
you were
truth.
doing last night?
That I was in my room. I'm not sure if they can fact check it, but it's the only alibi I've got.
Or can they?
Kind of wish we'd all stuck together now.
When should we do another reading? The police think it's me.
You already
When
told us.
When should we do another
8
reading?
o'clock. Ron, are you okay?
You can tell Sam about Birmingham.
Well, what can I tell Sam that you haven't already?
You know Sam likes a fact check. You're right. You know Sam likes a fact check.
Yeah, fact check.
I don't really know Sam. But if you're sure, then I guess I'm sure.
Okay, so that'll open more for me to be able to ask him stuff. So now we're to Lexi.
Ron, I'm so glad you're here. We need to talk.
What do we need to talk about?
Is something wrong?
Is something wrong?
No one can hear us, right? I mean, I'm assuming this room isn't bugged, although knowing Violet, there's probably cameras everywhere.
You
Wait,
think
what do you
Violet's
mean
a
about Violet?
voyeur?
Probably. I don't know. She has that look about her, don't you think? Like she
That
knows
look.
something she's not letting on. I wouldn't be surprised if there's cameras hidden in the wardrobe.
The lion and the
What
witch
have you
in the
got to
wardrobe. I'm kidding.
Nothing. Though I'd rather she didn't see me dancing around in my underwear. I only do that for people I love.
Do you love me?
Oh, are you gonna dance around in your underwear?
Of course I do, Bron. See? And now that's on film. I hope you enjoyed that, Violet. Listen, we need to talk about our alibi.
What about our alibi?
What about our...
I know you said it would be better if we said we were together, but lying about your alibi, that's pretty serious. Are you sure it was a good idea?
We should do whatever it takes.
You're acting like we've got something to hide. Bron,
Do we?
is there something you're not telling me? Why'd you ask me to lie? Were you really in your room all night?
Yes. No.
Ooh, should we
Yes.
select no or yes or no? I think this is gonna go two different ways, whatever we select. What should we select, y'all? Yes or no?
No. Yes. No.
Where were you? Ron, don't mess me around, you're scaring me.
I'm just kidding. I was here all night. I was at Dorota's house. I'm just kidding.
I
was
don't
here
know.
all
Now
night.
I'm putting things in her head.
Not
Let's just go
funny.
Yeah, I don't want to go too much with that. That could turn things a little too sour. So back to the room. And let's go as her.
Hi, I'm Lexi. Oh,
Hi, I'm Lexi.
I'm Lexi.
I'm Lexi. Okay. Wait, were we her already? Yeah, we were her already. Okay. So who were we not? I think we were everybody, right? For this section, this chapter.
Hello, I'm Violet. I'm Violet.
I'm Violet. Ah, I didn't mean to do that.
Hi.
I keep thinking I'm gonna
I'm
click the
Bronwyn.
talk. I gotta go back as Violet.
I'm Bronwyn.
Hello, I'm Violet.
So one thing I'm noticing already as we're going further
I'm
into the chapters,
Violet.
it does start to get a little boring at talking to the same people over and over again through multiple people. But it's also putting you in that mindset of the shapeshifter detective trying to figure things out. So now we go back to Brown. Okay, so I guess we did do all that already. So now we go to the room, we go back as Sam. We go to leave. We go to Helicab. We go to visit Oscar. No, we already did that. Now it showed him do the whole circle thing with the ring. That could mean several things. Let's go back to the chief. What do we know?
Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates.
So this is what
Bron
we
and
know
Lexi
so
lied
far.
about their alibis. I'm thinking what to do about it. Apparently, Lexi used a Ouija board to get Dorota's name. The tarot readers mentioned Birmingham. You're looking into it. There's some talk about a traveller.
Does it definitely mean
whatever that is. Oscar's not a suspect. He was playing football last night with lots of witnesses. According to
He's
Oscar,
supporting
Dorota
Oscar
had a
way
wedding
too
dress in
much
her
on
closet, which is strange. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. And finally, you pull the name Zach Weston
so
from
I was
somewhere,
about to say that
saying
where
he's
we're
the
at
town
right now
photographer.
is the photographer.
I've never run into him. Still, I guess I'm not in the papers that much. That's it.
So we need to check on the photographer next. But it won't let us do that now, so we got to go to the next chapter.
It's 7 o'clock, and here's the latest August update. Chief DuPont of August Police is urging residents to be vigilant tonight following the brutal murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Whilst he stresses there is no immediate threat to the community at large, residents should be on the lookout until the killer is in police custody. Miss Shaw was found strangled in her bedroom home last night.
Okay.
Poe,
Get another Dr.
I heard
Pepper.
she was found by her mother.
Truly awful. Mother caught me up to all sorts of mischief in my bedroom. Also in the news, emergency services were called to the crossroads
playing
at
some
Grange
replays back
Avenue
and
and
forth.
Church Street following a collision between two cars. There are no reports of any serious injuries, but you might want to take a different route for now.
Oh no. It's going to be one of those nights, Poe.
Stick with me, doll. I'll keep you safe.
I'm not going anywhere.
I'll keep you safe.
At 7 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
All right, so let's go to the next chapter. So now we can visit Zach.
Sorry, we're closed. Come back tomorrow or make an appointment online.
He looks a little... See, right there, that... Oh, I'm not up to anything. No, I didn't do anything. Are you Zach Weston? You're friends with Violet. Where were you last night?
Yes. What do you want?
I'm working with Chief DuPont.
I already told the police she did all those things of her own accord. I didn't force her to do anything. Oh! The road to shore. Sorry. I'm afraid I didn't know her that well.
You're friends with Violet?
Friends? Yes. I know Violet very well.
Ooh, do you now? How well?
Violet takes it very well, actually. I like him like that. With a frosty exterior comes a soft, warm center.
Interesting. So you're sleeping with her?
Sorry, my analogy wasn't explicit enough for you. Yes, we have sex.
So where were you last night?
Here. I'm usually here most nights.
Can anyone confirm that? Let's see if
Only
she can.
the roof rats.
Roof rats. Can we talk to the roof rats though? So it's like they deliberately make you look at their hands to see how suspicious their hand stuff is. It's like they're forcing things onto you to suspect things. Now we're just gonna play with our fingers and.
For the August Chronicle, she won some sort of award.
An award.
I remember her cello. It kept reflecting the flash and ruining the shot.
So a cello shot. Did she come to the studio?
No, I went to her house along with the reporter. It's better with these human interest stories to capture them in a natural habitat.
Okay. So you know where she lives?
If you ask me to drive there without my sat-nav, no.
What was was that the only time you met Dorota?
No, actually, I've been running a special offer on portraits since she came in for a studio session. Wait there.
Studio session, here we go.
As you can see, there's photos here. Her on the cello. Now this one's in colour. Beautiful hair. Oh, legs wrapped around. Another one here. Oh, hang on. Do you see what I see?
What do you see?
Nothing. She's just a very attractive girl. That's all. What do you mean?
Any other pictures?
Violet needs to mind her own business.
Violet told.
I didn't want to mention them out of respect for the dead. You've heard of boudoir photography.
Boudoir. Okay.
It's all very tasteful. Boudoir photographs are all about leading the eye and letting the imagination do the work. Most photographers mess it up. It's not supposed to resemble a Victorian whorehouse.
Who did she?
She didn't say. Her boyfriend, I assume. Would you like to see them?
Probably has a clue though. Let's figure it out. So we're selecting yes.
As you can see, it's all very artistic. Dorota was a natural. She lit up the front of the camera. Want to see the videos?
Now there's videos. But where's the cello? I'm kidding. I don't want to say no, but it could give a clue. Let's just see if maybe he's in any of them. Oh, is it on his phone? It's on his phone, y'all.
Ah. This is the one. Here you go.
Don't worry, it doesn't say it shows anything. Okay.
There's more.
I want to say I'm done, but it'll probably get an achievement as well. Hang on. Yeah, I just got an achievement.
This is the stuff.
Okay. No clues anywhere. We see the lamp on the left, something on the right. Why is she running away from you?
She's how you say acting?
Acting. That really seems suspicious. You know what I mean? Really suspicious. So now that goes back into saying we have a suspect again, back to the one that starts with a V, Violet. If there's a love thing going on there, that puts her back as a suspect. It so does.
No.
So see if he knows the photographer.
Okay, so this Zach guy was connected to Dorota. Took pictures of her.
Okay.
Were they sleeping together?
You
can tell me if she was. I don't care. Look, I mean, if you're going around asking all these questions, if you find out anything like that, I'd want you to tell me.
Okay. Of course.
Thanks, Sam. Don't let me mourn if I shouldn't.
Did she show the photos?
Boudoir photos? She sent some private photos to me by phone. Do you mean them? Yeah, I'll put them in an album for you.
No.
No.
So are we back to the chief? Or are we at the guest house now? Let's do guest house. We'll go to the chief last. Alright, so we're going to ask everyone as Sam, and then we're going to go back through and turn into everyone else again. Let's talk about Zach again.
Do we really have to?
He says you're sleeping together.
How vulgar. Yes, I suppose that is what he'd say. But I've never let him lay a finger on me. He says we're in a relationship, but he doesn't act like it.
Really?
He thinks he's...
Why doesn't he act
irresistible to women?
See, it really gets things suspicious again there. So not only does it get him as a suspect, but it also gets her back as a suspect for, what's the word? It's a simple word that I'm not thinking of. Fill me in, help me here, y'all. Jealousy.
No.
See, and that's the thing. We wonder why it keeps doing these video frames, like she's messing around with her belt thing or so forth, or I mean, why do you need to show that in the video? What is that showing? We see a ring, but the ring's on what? The middle finger? Is that a mood ring or something? But she's messing with the belt on her buckle thingy. Wait, what's it says? Do not turn into. It says do not morph into the children. It says. What are you and who are you? That was interesting. Let's visit Lexi.
We've got to stop meeting like this. Seriously though, Sam, I'm working. Can't it wait? Just give me to 8, okay?
Alright, 8 o'clock. Okay. Oh, we got Stream Raiders, everybody. Hang on. Alright, let's start her up. How many units we got this time? 17 units versus 45. Is that going to be enough, everybody? One versus 26, it is not enough. It was not enough. We're gonna need more people, everybody. Exclamation Raiders. Just link that with your Twitch account and drop a unit every 5 minutes. I can only place 1 unit per game. But y'all can place, what, 6? Because that's 30 minutes. Alright, let's see how that works. And we're back to the game. So let's talk to Violet. No, we already did. So who else do we need to talk to? Her?
Sam, look, I can't talk right now. I'm doing phone readings.
Phone readings.
Gotta pay for a job somehow. Lexi's locked in till 8 too. I can sort you out afterwards, yeah?
Okay. So what are you doing? So, Birmingham.
Fine, Sam. Birmingham. Mercury took us to Birmingham. We didn't know what for. We never really know what for. But we turned up. It started with a girl.
A girl.
Ginny.
Ginny.
She was South African. I only mention it because that was its thing.
It's a thing?
Yeah. We didn't know at the time, but in hindsight, it was after South African girls. 3 to be exact. The Traveller wanted 3.
Traveller. Why did the Traveller want 3?
You should ask Bronwyn. She's the one that knows about rights. I just know it normally involves 3, and all 3 share a common attribute. I guess you might call them demons, in as much as they can get inside us. They come from other worlds.
Sorry, y'all. I keep forgetting to reading out what we're clicking on. So why demons, or they come from other worlds with question marks? Let's say they come from other worlds.
Kind of, yeah. Quantum physics is real, didn't you know? There are many universes. In technical terms, a traveller is a trans-dimensional being far more superior to us, in as much as they can choose which reality to hang out in. We just get this one.
Travelers can inhabit us?
Yes, disturbingly.
So you say that, but you also saw the little girl.
It's actually a lot more complicated than that. They choose a reality/universe where they actually evolve to become the person they're possessing. So they jump in a few million years before our timelines intersect.
In simple terms?
They can't just jump into someone. It takes a few hours for that.
few hours.
They make the decision before they travel, which is why we can catch them.
So if one of them is doing suspicious-wise, then it could show that they're a traveler.
Yes, probably. The Tower doesn't just sat-nav us to normal murders.
Do you know Zach Weston?
I met him yesterday, doing the rounds, looking for reading work. Actually, oh no. He did mention Dorota.
Did he mention Dorota? What about her?
He said there was this girl he was planning to meet up with. Said she was alone every Monday night because her parents go to the cinema. Do you know what that means? It was Dorota Shaw.
Dun, dun, dun! So there's a few different things on that. We already tried Lexi. It wouldn't let us see her room. Let's go back to the cab for a second.
It's 8 o'clock and time for another August update. Police investigating the death of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw have said there's no evidence to connect her boyfriend to the murder. Chief DuPont's statement was delivered in response to speculation from local residents that it was a crime of passion. Miss Shaw's strangled body was found by her mother around 10 p.m. last night in what the chief is calling a puzzling crime.
I can't believe people are gossiping already, Poe.
It's always the person closest to the victim, isn't that what they say?
But that poor boy. A reminder also that due to the murder, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced soon.
Yeah.
The weather's getting worse tonight with heavy rain forecast. So if you're heading out, you might want to take a jacket. Or a cab.
Or wear the jacket in the cab. That's 8 o'clock with Poe
Or
and
wear the
Montel.
jacket in the cab. So we want to go back to Zach. Rain says you've met.
Yes, the Tower Reader. Delightful fella, but I couldn't offer him anything. He asked if he could do readings for my customers while they waited.
Yeah,
Can't have that really. It's retail ambush.
Retail ambush. Did he do a
He
reading for
offered,
you?
but I declined. There's no such thing as fate detective. If there was, you could stop investigating right now. If you're supposed to find a killer, you will. Why put in the effort?
I think we selected the wrong option there. So let's visit Oscar. There's nothing else to tell him. So if we go back to the guest house, did we already transform as everybody else in this one? So that's one thing I'm not liking about this game so far. My memory itself, I mean, this could be fine for others, but my memory itself, because of how my memory is, I forget when I went through as the others and when I didn't. I don't think I did yet. So let's go ahead and go in as a detective, or the chief.
Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
We leave. Violet, leave. Nothing. Rain. Nothing. Nothing. Back to the room. Go as him.
Hello, I'm Rain.
I'm Rain. Alright, so we go back this way. So I see we can actually morph in as the other guy.
You have a lovely guest.
It is quaint.
You have a lovely
isn't it?
guest house.
It's all my parents had when they died. We're literally sitting in my inheritance.
Inheritance, eh?
How did your parents...
How
Father
did your
died
parents
first.
die?
Heart attack. They found him in the freezer when Mother died. She had a pulmonary embolism. I didn't really talk to them much.
Freezer?
So see, she comes back up as suspicious again. Even more. She's still on that suspect list.
Yes.
Freezer.
She kept him in the chest freezer because she didn't want to be alone. Stored him perfectly.
What?
Still use it today.
They stored him alive in there? I mean, not alive, but the dead body in there? That's suspicious. They're doing the tarot readings. So now we go back to the room. This time we go in as him. So this is the photographer.
I'm Zach Weston. Just sharpening my powers of persuasion.
Okay, so now we leave, and we go back into talking to. Oh.
What are you doing here? Quick, don't let anyone see you.
Why?
Why don't you want anyone to see me?
What? You're the one who said we shouldn't be seen together. What
You're
are you
the
doing
one
here?
who said we shouldn't be seen together.
I wanted to make sure we were.
What did you do? What did you say to Sam?
See?
Are you happy Dorota's dead?
I didn't say that. But we both know what Dorota was like. She practically threw herself at you.
She didn't throw herself at me. Why'd you...
The boudoir sessions. Some girls get the wrong idea. I saw how she was looking at you. She wanted it.
You were there. You saw the photos. You were there.
No, silly. But I saw the photos.
Everyone's talking about Dorota.
So it goes back and forth again with her.
I know.
The so
but
suspicious
I
type.
suppose people like that attract trouble.
People like... Is that why you killed her?
That's not funny, Zach.
Is that why you killed her?
What if Sam heard?
So we did or didn't? So we can't visit the other ones. We're trying to visit the other ones. We know these two doors
Zach,
are closed.
Let me stop you there. You are one creepy fellow.
Creepy, huh?
Now, I don't know what you had going on with Dorota, but I don't want anything to do with it. Do not come back here. Please.
So we need to decide in this part of the story if it's gathering up to where it's Zach and what's her face, Violet, or both, or if it's trying to push us off into believing it is and it's actually something else. We don't know all of this just yet. We don't know how long Zach's even been in this town. Or if maybe Zach all of a sudden became this person or so forth. The thing that they're talking about, what was it, the Traveler? Alright, so at this point, we need to talk to the chief. You know what? I want to hail a cab and visit Oscar. Oh, we can't see Oscar. That would have been interesting. So we're going back to the guest house, going to our room, changing back into as us. And now we're going to the chief, and then we're going to the next day. And then I gotta wake my son up real quick.
If you have anything else on Zach Weston, let me know.
Wait, we're not done. We are not done. There's one other thing, but hang on.
Yeah, that's what he says, but no one can back him up. He's on my radar now.
Yep.
I think you're supposed to tell me that. If he was taking photos of Dorota, maybe he fell for her? And the feeling wasn't mutual. Artists have muses, apparently. Wish I had one. And I'm all for a good boudoir picture, but who are they for? There's definitely a strong connection between those two there. Well, unless they were for Oscar, I don't know. Unless there's someone else about to come out of the woodwork.
We haven't heard of another person.
Zach Weston says he was in his studio last night. Rain met Zach already, touting for work. Zach told
we're not
Rain
done
DeRota
just
would be
yet,
alone last night.
but I need to wake up my son.
Zach
Give me 1
says
second.
he's sleeping with Violet, which I doubt. Zach did other photo sessions with DeRota. Boudoir. I wonder what else he's not telling us. Rain still says he was praying in his room, alone. Bronwyn and Lexi lied about being together last night. You're still following up Birmingham. Keep me posted. Yeah, you mentioned the word traveller to me, but he's nothing. Oscar's in the clear. He was playing football last night. He said that DeRota had a wedding dress in her closet. Not many people would know that. That's it.
All right, I'm back. Why is he doing all that with his tie? Okay. So one more thing that we need to do is we need to go back in as Violet. Go in as her. And then we want to travel
I'm Violet.
over to the photo studio.
I'm Violet.
So we go to the cab. Go to Zach.
Hello, gorgeous.
Did you hear? I came over last night, but you weren't.
Well, that explains why there was no answer when I called you. I was definitely here.
Did you?
Everyone in town's heard. She's a local celebrity now.
Local celebrity? Were you sleeping with her?
Violet? Of course not. I only have eyes for you.
That's not what.
This again.
That's not what
I told you. I'm not seeing anyone else. I have gorgeous women in my studio all the time, but you're special.
Special.
Not because you won't take off your clothes. I'm expecting that at some point. It's just you're so clever and well educated. And the icing on the cake, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever met.
Leave now. All right, so any more information? Oh, hang on. Visit the guest house. Go back to the room. Return to Sam. All right, I think we're done at this point for this section. Then leave. Hail a cab. Back to the chief. Leave. Visit Zach. Leave. Visit Oscar. Leave. Next chapter.
It's 8 o'clock and time for another August update. Police investigating the death of 21-year-old DeRota Shaw have said there's no evidence to connect her boyfriend to the murder. Chief DuPont's statement was delivered in response to speculation from local residents that it was a crime of passion. Miss Shaw's strangled body was found by her mother around 10 p.m. last night in what the chief is calling a puzzling crime.
We're pretty sure
I can't believe people are gossiping already, Poe.
It's always the person closest to the victim, isn't that what they say?
But that poor boy. A reminder also that due to the murder, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed.
So we've heard
New
this
dates will be announced soon. The weather's getting worse tonight with heavy rain forecast. So if you're heading out, you might want to take a jacket.
Okay.
Or a cab.
Or wear the jacket
in the cab.
In the cab. That's 8 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
All right, here we go. So next
Sam,
chapter. I've got news.
I've got news. We've
up,
done
bud?
a reading.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll be right there. I'm live right now. I'll be right there, bud. Let's see if we can pause this.
The Five of Swords. That's the same card as yesterday.
Let's hope it's not the Knight of Wands.
Knight of Wands.
This doesn't look good.
It's fine. This happens all the time. There are 78 cards in a deck. The same ones come up a lot.
I get it, but we drew the exact same cards yesterday. What are the odds of pulling all three again?
1 in 474,552.
He's good with numbers. How? Why?
I get asked a lot.
Bet it's a Ten of Swords.
It's happening again. There's going to be another murder.
Another murder, but who?
Then Lexi did her thing, and now we have a name. Alice Munro.
That's that radio thingy. Okay, so we're gonna pause this really quickly, and I will be right back. Sorry, y'all. Dad duties. Okay, let's get back to this.
Sam.
Visit the chief.
Do me a favour, go easy on Violet. If we need to get anything out of her, let me deal with it. She'll open up to me. We've got a new target. Alice Munro. Rain still says he was praying in his room, alone. Bronwyn and Lexi lied about being together last night. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. Zach Weston says he was in his studio last night. No one corroborates. Oscar's in the clear. He was playing football last night. He said that Dorota had a wedding dress in her closet. Not many people would know that. That's it.
Okay, so what it's telling us to do is to go back to the guest house. Well, let's visit Ellis first.
You must be Sam. I just got off the phone with Chief DuPont. I can't believe it. First Dorota, now me.
Well, why you?
Yes.
Okay, so they knew each
We
other.
were friends.
Friends?
I hadn't known her for long. Only a few weeks.
More than friends.
We met at the gala. I was hosting and she was playing the cello, you know? I guess we talked for a little while and then she asked me for a drink after the show. After we'd had a few drinks, she invited me back to her house. I thought we were just gonna chat, watch a movie, that sort of thing. Then she kissed me. I was so shocked. She was so attractive. So I kissed her back.
Okay. So did they have a thing or what?
This is just between us, right?
So, yes.
We fooled around. I don't have many friends, Sam.
So fooled around.
Everyone thinks because I'm on the radio, I have tons of friends, so nobody ever approaches me. I get lonely.
So maybe
But
someone got jealous.
Dorota was my friend, and I liked making her happy.
Okay.
I'm not going into detail, Sam. We pledged each other multiple times.
Okay. So,
Oscar.
you know about the boyfriend?
Yeah. She was a bit confused. When we started seeing each other, she didn't like him touching her anymore. I didn't mind, but she did. So I told her if he wanted to get sexual, then maybe she should try something else. I said some guys like to watch, so
Okay.
tell him it would be sexy if he could look, but he couldn't touch. As far as I know, it worked.
Wait a second.
She told Oscar to watch from her walk-in wardrobe. When he was at a safe distance, she put on a show. She faked it.
Okay.
She told me she faked it. But
so there's another
you'd know
suspect
best.
in here.
It was her mom's. She was saving it in case she ever got married.
Okay. So what about
We're co-hosts on the radio. Oh, sorry. You know that already. We've been partners for 2 years now. He's a good friend.
Okay, good friend. So we got more suspects in here now, and it's friend.
He's on air at the moment, but he'll be finished at 8:30. On air? We both were. We broadcast live hourly news reports. It's how we keep our funding.
Any idea who might want to hurt you?
No. Sorry. I did have a strange dream last night, though. My life was playing on a TV screen, and every time I did something, another version of me started playing over the first. In the end, there were so many versions it became a fog. It filled my lungs. I couldn't breathe. And then I woke up. What do you think that means, Sam?
So there's multiple parts of the story turning out. It can still go multiple ways. Could it be trying to cloud what we already thought was happening? But there's a whole love triangle, sound like a few love triangles going on, and that can really put in those suspects. I still think something with Violet. Means you're anxious.
I don't know
about
what.
something?
I mean, I'm anxious now. Maybe it was predicting Dorota's death. Or mine.
Or yours.
That sounds reassuring. I hope it's not just words, Sam. You've kind of just asked about Dorota since you got here.
Do you know
Not very
Jack
well.
Weston?
He's done a few shoots of me and Poe. To promote the show.
And Poe. Have you had any private sessions with
No.
him?
Zach keeps asking, but I just don't want to.
Okay.
Not for him. But Dorota did. She gave me the pictures as a gift. She looked amazing.
Okay. So that's one set of love triangle right there. You forgot your phone.
Sam, you forgot your phone.
Okay. So there's a few things we need to make sure to be at here. And what information we want to provide and not provide. Let's visit Oscar again. Oscar's not there. Zach.
Monroe. Everyone knows her. She's a local radio star here.
So if he knows Monroe, do you have photos of her?
I always get the shot, Sam. One way or another.
Now that can be bad, one way or another. Interesting. He goes even more into as that suspect. We already visited Zach. I don't know why I clicked on him again. Oh, we already visited her. I don't know why I clicked her again. So now we go to the guest house. We talk to everybody all over again. Violet. Who's the little girl?
Excellent work. Gold star for you. Oh, hello. This is my goddaughter, Sophia.
Goddaughter.
She's only 9 and she's a maths genius. Hello.
The math
I have to pop to my room to get something. Be nice to her while I'm gone. Otherwise, I might have to smother you in your sleep.
Now remember, it said not to morph into
What's
them
your name?
or as them. I'm the boogeyman.
I'm Sophia. Pleased to meet you. Do you want to know a secret?
Yes.
Violet was taken by aliens in their ship.
Violet was taken by aliens in the ship.
Sorry about that. Sophia, your mother will be here for you soon, so run along and wait. Now, Sam, how can I help you?
Aliens? Do you
Of
know
course.
Monroe?
Poe and Monroe. She's on the radio.
Hey, she just rhymed. Have you ever met her?
Yes, I believe I did. She was here once for something. I don't remember now.
What was she there for?
She has a wicked
Aliens.
imagination for her age.
Just a wicked imagination.
Do you think you're sitting here now? Perception
Do you
is
think
reality,
you were
Sam.
abducted is what I just asked. Have you told anyone else
I
about
needed
this?
to confide in someone, so I told Chief Dupont. Just Chief Dupont. And now you, apparently.
Do you think you were abducted last
Why
night?
are you talking about this again? You understand, every time you mention abduction, it opens up a vault of crushing memories that I'd rather stay locked up.
Okay. Did anyone else see you last night?
No. Not even the moon.
Fly me to the moon, not the king. The chief said you'd tell me about the abduction.
I don't really want to.
Tell me.
About a month ago, the guest house was empty and I was alone in my bedroom.
Okay, about a month ago.
All I could hear was dripping.
Drip, drip.
Cold tap.
Drip, drip.
Drip.
Drip, drip.
Drip. Drip. And then it began. I could smell iron, a strong metallic smell. Then I could taste it on my tongue.
Okay.
And then weightlessness. Like time and space had stopped. That was the first time they took me.
The first time of how many?
It's happened 5
First time with a
times.
question mark, so it's happened 5
Even on
times.
clozapine. Get that strange aura, then I'm gone. I
Strange
tests
aura,
for
then
epilepsy, amongst other things.
Not epilepsy?
But all the scans were normal.
Do they actually disappear?
As far as I know, I've gone.
I really need details about the abduction.
It's difficult to explain. I'm stuck in the wall of an enormous room made from these wooden vines, except the vines slowly move and drip with pain. My head is pushed out like I'm a trophy. If I look to my side, there are others, heads, all prisoners, being experimented on.
Experimented on how?
They rearrange us like decorations. Suck us backwards into the darkness and then thrust us back through the wall. And when they return me home, I'm broken. Cuts. Bruises. Memories.
Do we think there's some drugs or something? So we could go towards the alien thing, or we can think more about the photographer. But the photographer mentioned like he hasn't seen her that way. Knew about rights?
A little bit. What did you want to know?
What is
a
a
right
right?
can take many forms, but from what we know about these travelers, it seems to be performing some kind of coming-of-age ceremony.
Okay.
Yes.
Coming of age?
A rite of passage. Running havoc in our dimension is rewarded in theirs.
Okay.
Not fair, is it?
Why were there 3 victims before?
3 is a powerful number. There's a divine balance to it, in our universe anyway. But maybe it doesn't mean anything where the traveler's from. Maybe 3 is just the carry-on limit for interdimensional travel.
Dorota had a coin in her mouth. Part of the right?
Was it a gold coin?
Uh-oh. I shouldn't have asked that. Arg!
I should have known. That's the same as Birmingham. Although they beheaded the victims, they all had gold coins in their mouths. It's their way of marking their territory to prove it's their work. I've heard on the radio, but other than that, I don't know anything about her. I want to help though.
What's the connection between Ellis and Dorota?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Although we can be sure of one thing.
They're both redheads?
Yeah, she sounded blonde on the radio, but Mercury called her as a redhead.
Okay. Do you know
No.
Zach?
I can do a reading if you want.
Let's do a reading.
The Chariot.
The Chariot.
Is Zach a suspect?
Yes.
I'm sensing there's a lot of tension, pent-up frustration, like he's trying to keep everything together, and if he can just do that...
Well, what is he trying to
I'm
keep
sorry,
together?
that's not much help to you, is it? Yes, of course. Anything.
Try to find out more on the Mercury or keep an eye on Violet. Let's not put her
I've
to
already
Violet.
been doing that, but sure, I'll keep at it. Maybe it'll feel sorry for me and finally put out.
Is that trying to hint something? Let's go to Rain. Tell me more
In
about
Birmingham, it was a man called Yuri Harris.
Yuri Harris.
He worked as a butcher.
Okay.
He beheaded all 3 girls within hours of each other.
Hours.
And we couldn't stop it. He pleaded not guilty for reason of temporary insanity.
Why do you
Because
think
he said he'd see us again. In August.
In
Before we even knew it was a month and a place. I know the name. She's off the radio. Hard to get away from it in this town.
Okay.
So what's the news about Ellis? I feel so useless sitting here. I want to help.
Okay. Do you really want to help?
Yes, please use me. Tell me what to do.
Okay, I have a few options, or I can't. Just stay safe. Alright. Find out what you can from the Ouija board. Let's do that, because I don't want to send her over to the other guy. I don't want to send her over to Zach. And I don't want to send the other one over to the other lady. We want to stay out of that. Now, we can go ahead and go to the room.
You're only alive because we want you to be.
You're only alive because we want you to be? What? How did that just come out?
Hi, I'm Chief
So we
DuPont.
know Chief DuPont needs to go over to the other one. To Violet.
Claude.
Nope.
Chief, what a surprise to see you. Again.
Again.
Why didn't you tell me?
I told you Dorota was first. And that didn't turn out very well, did it? Let's hope Sam does a better job than you did.
Okay. Rain is not there. I like the fact that you can't always speak to the other ones, because it can get a little long here. So we go back to the room. Let's transfer over to her.
Hi, I'm Ellis. I'm Ellis.
I'm Ellis. So if Ellis is next, we want to see what type of response comes up with her. So let's ask around and see what happens. Violet's not there. The fact that Ellis can't talk to Violet, it's suspicious. Neither is that one. Suspicious. Or that one. So it's getting to where there's no real connection thing on any of them. It's not giving any information. But what if we take a cab as her and go to Zach? Zach isn't even there. What about Oscar? Oscar isn't even there. Chief. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go back as me. I'm not even going to morph into the other people right now. So what if we go to our room, morph back as me, then we go back, go to the cab.
It's 9 o'clock and you're listening to Radio
listen to this
August.
part here.
Investigations into the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw are continuing this evening. Miss Shaw was found dead in her home at approximately 10 p.m. last night in what police are describing as a puzzling case. Residents are urged to be cautious until the perpetrator is caught. I cannot stress this enough, August. Stay safe out there. You mean the world to me. In other news, Monroe has been detained on urgent business, so you're stuck with me until she returns. Never fear, Monroe fans. We still have lots of pre-recordings, so you can relax with her angelic tones. That's 9 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I didn't get to show Stream Raiders. Place your next unit down. Normally I'll show Stream Raiders, but that was a quick one. We didn't have enough time. Alright, so now we are going to keep investigating. Go over to Oscar, but he's not there. We've already done all that. The chief.
What do you know about it?
Have you looked?
Yeah, I pulled in a few bug-eyed aliens, but they wouldn't confess.
Aliens wouldn't confess.
Can we talk about this later? We've got a new target, Ellis Monroe. Ellis said she was in a relationship with Dorota. She kissed the girl and she liked it. She told you where John Pope, or Poe, is going to be next. Rain still says he was praying in his room, alone. Bronwyn and Lexi lied about being together last night. Lexi's doing some investigating for you. As if that'll help. Rain told you about the Butcher of Birmingham. It's a thing. Made an interesting read. Those tarot readers hang out with death. His explanation of it, it's all fairy tales, so I'm not getting involved.
Okay.
Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. Violet told you about her brush with aliens? You seem far too interested in those kind of things. Zach Weston says he was in his studio last night. No one corroborates. And he keeps asking Ellis to pose nude. Could be motive.
Yep.
Oscar's in the clear. He was playing football last night. He said that Dorota had a wedding dress in her closet. Not many people would know that. That's it.
So we know how he knows that. So let's go to next
It's
chapter.
9 o'clock and you're listening to Radio August.
Gonna do this thing again.
Investigations into the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw are continuing this evening. Miss Shaw was found dead in her home at approximately 10 p.m. last night in what police are describing as a puzzling case. Residents are urged to be cautious until the perpetrator is caught. I cannot stress this enough, August. Stay safe out there. You mean the world to me. In other news, Monroe has been detained on urgent business, so you're stuck with me until she returns. Never fear, Monroe fans. We still have lots of pre-recordings, so you can relax with her angelic tones. That's 9 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
Okay. So now we're going to the next chapter.
Sam, I've got some heavy rain news. Lawrence Petrovsky, that's his real name, and no, he's not a Russian spy. He does have a criminal record.
Criminal record. What did he do?
He was charged with the murder of a 21-year-old artist. Looks like he got off on a technicality by all accounts.
When was this?
About 3 months ago in Hong Kong.
We did
Be
have
careful,
him as
Sam.
a suspect of what we
You're
were
going to ask him
thinking
about this. It could be a flight risk. And you know, there's a good chance he could be the killer.
Okay.
Door's behind you.
Hey, I'm going. There's too many people asking questions. It's exhausting. I'm off to stay at my aunt's. I'll come back tomorrow, but I've said everything I can say.
Did you? He didn't say much about the whole woman thing. Zach, where are you going to be the next few
Probably
hours?
right here. Why? I didn't realize I was under house arrest.
You should probably go somewhere where there are witnesses.
Thanks for the advice. I hope I'm not the only suspect.
And visit Ellis? Poe?
You're the detective. Monroe just called. This is madness.
Okay.
Who would want to hurt her?
You and
We've
Monroe
worked
close?
together for years. She's the light to my shade, the angel to my demon, the diamond to my lump of coal. She told me to say all those things.
Are you romantically involved?
Heavens, no. I have a wife and 3 children, beloved spawn of my loins.
He
Monroe
jumps
and
as a
I are
suspect,
good friends.
we'll
That's
see.
all. We interviewed her about her scholarship not too long ago.
Did something happen with
Do you
the three
think
of them?
whoever killed Dorota plans to kill Monroe? What makes you think she's in danger? Tarot. Does this have
Is his radio
anything to
live?
do with the gentleman who stopped by?
What gentleman?
I didn't get his name, I'm afraid. He offered to do a spot on our show, doing tarot readings to answer listener questions. We
Okay.
said we'd think about it. Only a
Anyone
madman.
hate?
Or woman. Monroe is August's sweetheart. Poe and Monroe. That was her idea. Our
Poe
show.
Monroe?
We were just another local radio station before that. It was Monroe who decided we should have a theme. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe. Don't tell me you haven't heard it, Detective. That's what the Free Radio Project is all about.
What's the Free
Uniting
Radio Project?
August via the airwaves. Monroe's been delivering free radios anywhere people might want to listen. Doctor surgeries, hairdressers, the
Free
guest
radios.
house.
How can she afford the free radios?
I believe she charmed the local electrical store into donating them, in exchange for free advertising, of course. You know, this town
Tell me
is
about August.
fascinating. There's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Have you ever read up on the real history of August?
Uh-oh. No. Tell me more. See, now
The
it's just
official
dark
story
music,
is
like
that
he's a
Mary
suspect
August
too.
retired from a life on the high seas, found a nice spot here, and used her ill-gotten gains to establish a town. But that's not what really happened.
What really happened?
It's true that Mary August was a pirate,
Okay,
but she
pirate.
didn't retire. Her ship was sunk on the rocks just off the coast. Mary and all of her crew sought refuge in a small fishing town. This one.
Fishing, eh? Go on.
They slaughtered everyone. Men, women, and
murdering.
children. All dead and dismembered in their own homes.
Okay.
The bodies were dumped in a mass grave. Well, the body parts.
Body parts.
And the pirates moved in. No one knows.
Where's the grave?
It seems at some point it was built over and then forgotten about. It could be under the school, or the church, or right beneath our feet.
Right beneath our feet.
On that note, I should probably get back to the booth. The show must go on. Death threats be damned.
Death threats be
Look
damned.
after Monroe, detective. She's the only Monroe I've got.
It's now 10 o'clock. Here's your August update. Investigations deepen into last night's murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw, a talented cellist who had recently been granted a place at Juilliard, was found strangled at her home last night. With the murderer still at large, Chief DuPont has urged residents to remain calm and stresses there is almost no chance of anyone else being harmed. Alice, if you're listening, let me know you're okay. In other news, a handful of August residents have reported seeing strange lights in the sky earlier this evening. The lights, which witnesses describe as searingly bright, were spotted over the east edge of town,
up, Scotty.
past the fire station. Have you seen any strange lights? Or for that matter, little green men? Let me know. That's 10 o'clock with Poe.
So do we want to keep investigating or next chapter? It's putting us towards the next chapter.
August's gone crazy tonight. I've just got off the phone with someone who thinks they saw a UFO.
Scotty,
one of the
beam me
nights
up.
that Violet went missing. Aliens will be normal right now. Anyway, now you're here, it's time. What do you suggest we do with Ellis Monroe? Monroe's a local treasure around here, Sam. Don't let anything happen to her.
Sam,
Staying with you.
I'm not sure. Do you think you can stop someone from trying to kill me?
Do my best or I'm gifted with certain... Should we give away the certain powers? No, let's stick with I'll do my best.
That's all I needed to hear.
Good. We don't want to give away
Thanks for
our
staying with me, Sam.
powers.
I know it's dangerous. I don't know why you're here, but I'm glad you are. It's almost 10 o'clock, Sam. When's it gonna be over? You said Brahman will call when it's safe. Should we call them now? Or are we just supposed to wait?
Is something about to happen? Maybe we should hide somewhere? No, you'll be okay.
I know you're just being good, but that's kind of easy for you to say right now. I think I'm probably gonna have a heart attack before anyone gets a chance to kill me.
We're looking at the windows in the background, making sure everything's closed off. Just wait.
That's the door. That's the door, Sam. What are we gonna do?
Hide. Alright, so what should we see here?
Where's Ellis? Sam, where the hell is Ellis?
I'm here. I was just hiding. Sorry.
Ellis, thank God. I've been outside all the time, okay? Bronwyn Castle just called. She said the danger is over.
Okay.
They've done a new reading. There's another victim now.
So was it
Look,
him?
Danny's outside. He's going to take you somewhere safe, okay? Sam, I think you should find out who the next victim's going to be. Then come and see me in my office.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Poe, and this is your August update. Police investigating the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw say they are getting closer to apprehending the killer. The death of Miss Shaw, who was found strangled at her home late last night, has sparked a massive police operation and caused alarm amongst August residents. Monroe has some personal business to attend to, but she sends you all her love and hopes to be back on the air tomorrow.
Okay, so
And
she
Monroe,
hopes to be back on the
if
air.
you can hear me, I'm sending my love out to you too. That's 11 o'clock with Poe.
Okay, next chapter.
Sam, I have
Bad
some bad
news.
news. We've done a group reading, and it's you.
You? Me?
I don't know, Sam. I don't know what to say. It's normally a death sentence, but with you, it might be different.
Why me?
I think you've interfered too much. That's why you're the next target. I've called Chief DuPont already. He's asked that you meet with him. You should go, Sam. Be careful.
We got a kiss, y'all.
Sam, it's almost midnight.
Almost midnight.
You're still alive. This is a good thing. But
Okay.
no one's even attempted to kill you yet.
Yet.
You've given me a lot of evidence. Enough to arrest someone. But who? Make the right decision, and you should be safe. If we don't, well, we've all got to sleep at some point. I can get someone to guard your room at the guest house.
Okay.
But it might not be enough. So, Sam, who should I arrest?
Uh-oh.
During that whole thing with Alice, the only people I couldn't keep track of were Rain, Zach, and Violet. I don't want to believe it's Violet, but that's why you're here. You're impartial. Out of those three names, who was with Dorota at the time of her murder, or who has an alibi that doesn't check out? This is on you, Sam. Just
We're still between
give me
three.
a name.
So Rain has the murdering history, but there could be another story behind that and throwing the other way. Violet is really suspicious on a lot of things. Bronwyn said about the gold. That could be her, but also links over to Rain because Rain said something of it, or that's what happened prior with it. So that could be back towards Rain of going elsewhere. Let's say if we link it over to those gold coins, then that comes back from the other place, so that travels with them. Therefore, if it's not all this science stuff or other things from that point, then we believe it would be Rain is what travels with it. So Rain goes on that part, but then we also have the love triangle, a few love triangles. So we have the Violet that goes up with the so I honestly think it's either Violet, Rain, or well, the same ones I just said that don't have the alibis. Violet, Zach, or Rain. So if anyone's still out there, who do you think it is? Violet, Zach, or Rain? It puts it to Rain. But that's one little thing.
Rain. Agreed. He's got no corroborated alibis for any key times, and he's one of those tarot muppets who I suspected all along. I was right when I said Bronwyn, because I knew it was one of them. I just didn't know which one. I'll pick him up. Just be careful tonight, Sam. If you've not done your job properly, the killer's still out there.
Yeah. I really have strong suspicions that it's the girl. The girl or either the girl or the boyfriend or both. But the facts put more towards that one guy.
Sam,
oh, look, she has scissors in her
You
hand.
asked for these earlier. Make sure you get some sleep now. You'll need it. Night.
Mm-hmm. It really seems like her, though. She could be the psychopath and so forth. But the other fax was pointing to
It's
the
1
one
o'clock
guy,
in the
so-
morning, and this is Poe with your August update. We don't normally have them at this time, but since there's a killer on the loose, I feel it's my duty to keep the radio station manned. I personally spoke with Chief DuPont earlier, and he thinks they're close to catching the killer. Until that happens, though, please lock your doors and stay inside. Remain vigilant. The light has faded, and so has my fortitude. I see things in shadows, behind doors and under desks. I hear the chattering of teeth and the glee of insects waiting to feed on me. The studio undulates like a heart that beats its last beats. I can't go on. I must to bed. Forgive me, Lady August. Forgive me.
Okay. So we go on to the next chapter, but before we do that, everybody, give me 1 second. I gotta check on my son. Be right back. He's getting ready for school. All right, I'm back, y'all. Sorry. Let's resume. Next chapter. The end. 2:14 in the morning. See what happens.
Hello, sleepyhead. I'm so glad to see you alive.
Look, Mom, I'm a detective. Okay. So it says, so I got an achievement. What about the next victim?
There is no next victim. Rain is locked up. He's being charged for murder. Travelers don't like being incarcerated, so they'll have jumped realities already. It's not something that a jury will believe. The shell they've left behind won't remember what they've done. And spend a life in prison. All we can do is try and stop the next one. I still can't believe it was Rain. I suppose nobody is immune. And now we're one short. Sam, come with us, please. We could really use someone like you and, well, just... will you?
And that's the thing, we went with the facts. Sure, let's
really?
go with them.
Oh, Sam, that's wonderful.
We got a hug!
Let's finish packing and we can leave this afternoon. Sam, thank you. We're going to change lives, believe me.
Something is suspicious.
Hey, sweet cheeks. You did good. Real good. You win. Alexi hug.
Why does this seem so suspicious?
Sam, I'm just going to say it because you only live once and all that. Sam, I think I've fallen for you. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. It's out there now. We can get on with our lives.
That's a nice thing to say. That's all?
I see. Nice thing. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Heart wants what it wants. Perhaps you should go for a while so I can have a little cry. I'll be okay though.
Sam,
we couldn't
I guess you're on your way
Maybe
now.
I should have selected
I don't often thank my guests, but
the
thank you.
Trash thing.
I didn't think you had it in you. Well, I at least thought you'd run away at some point. But you didn't. You stayed. You've made August safe again. If you ever need a place to stay, you've got one here. Well, if I have a room available, that is. Take care, Sam.
So we've solved it. We've saved her.
I didn't think you'd leave without saying goodbye.
Uh-oh. Mwah, 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 mwah.
People do horrible things to people every day. I'm just glad there's someone like you around to save us. I mean, everyone needs a little saving from time to time. Even me.
Happy to save you anytime, or you're strong, you'll be fine. You're strong.
That's easy for you to say. Look what you've just been through. I'd have been dead a few hours ago if it wasn't for you. But you're right. I am strong. I will be fine. But I like having you around, Sam. I hope you're staying.
Nope, we decided to go to the other stop.
Sam, you did good. I thought you would. I mean, not that I've got a signed confession or anything. Yet. Apparently, they don't remember anything about the murders, but Bronwyn seems pretty convinced it's over. Well done. I hear you're leaving town with the tarot readers. That's a real big shame. You were starting to fit in here. But good luck to you. You're doing what many of us have died trying. Leaving August.
We have left the August. Thanks.
And I've stuck to my word. That problem you had, I buried it. The coroner's report is going to say the woman was dead when you arrived, not after. I don't personally believe in exorcism or anything like that, but over the last 24 hours, I'm starting to think things aren't as cut and dried as I'd like them to be. You're a good person, Sam. At least that's definitely how it looks from the outside.
Thank you for playing. Goodbye. All right, so we have actually completed the game. There's multiple steps on there, multiple things.
I am 21 years old. I love playing cello, and I just been awarded a scholarship to Juilliard.
Cool.
I just love cello. I love all string instruments, but cello is rich and deep and soothing, at least to me. No, cello is my hobby, but my real passion is... It's silly, it sounds silly. Well, I would like to build a time machine. I know. But it is possible. I think people make mistakes. They do things they regret and they say things they don't mean. I want to go back in time. I want to make better choices.
Maybe be back.
You know why you're here, don't you?
Wait, why am I back here?
Because you did well. And you know what happens when you do well?
What?
Augmentation.
What's augmentation?
Congratulations, Agent 3.13. Welcome to 3.14.
Whoosh. I have no idea what that meant. The end. Maybe. Enter secret briefing? Alright, we gotta see what this
Debriefing
is.
3204, Birmingham. Transmit. And we're ready. Are you human? Do you have feelings? Splendid. Do plants
no and then
have
yes.
feelings?
Do plants have feelings? No.
Splendid. I've burned down a rainforest. Does that make you happy?
No.
Splendid. I've killed a serial killer. Does that make you happy?
Yes.
It's ready.
What's ready? You can now skip previously viewed scenes. So we can go back and go through it again. Alright, so y'all know what that means. Let's switch over to the big screen here. First, let me type it on this. Well, I'll edit that in a second, but first off, we gotta switch over to the camera, y'all. Y'all ready for this? The ShapeShifting Detective. I beat the game! I beat the game! I beat the game! Yeah! Beat the fucking game! Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I beat the game! Let's try that one more time. One I can actually clip. Ready? The shape-shifting. Yeah. The shape-shifting detective. I beat the game! I beat the game! I beat the game! Yeah! I beat the game! Woohoo! The game has been completed. Alright, y'all, on that note, we are going to take a quick break here, and I got to see what's all going on, and we're going to get ready to start another game. We don't have our regular schedule starting until another hour and a half yet. So let's go ahead and do roughly a 15-minute break, and then I got to find I may just do a few minute break because I got to take a 15-minute break from my son's bus stop. So we're going to put all this together and see what all we got. So give me a moment, and I'll be back. Oh, wait, let's do Stream Raiders first. There's Stream Raiders now.